This is how it felt being a Tesla investor today. One moment you're happy because it's up so much, the next minute it's crashing and you're not so happy. Guys, I'm going to break down the news of what caused this massive capitulation moment, and is there going to be a recovery? Well, you know, we've got the lines in the sand, we've got the lines on the chart, and that's going to tell us the direction in the coming days. I'm going to break it down for you guys, but it's okay to be a little confused on how Tesla feels right now. So what is going on exactly in the markets today? All of the Magnificent Seven had a pretty strong flush down after an exciting pump up at the beginning of this week. What happened? What caused it? Well, it was actually the good news that we got with the CPI. There was the expectation that it would come in at 3.1. It actually hit at 3.0. And then there was core CPI was 3.3 versus the expectation of 3.4. And so what happened? Well, it was simply a buy the rumor, sell the news. It had all been priced in, and on delivery of the good news, the markets flushed. So is there going to be a rebound? Is there going to be a bounce? Is there going to be a recovery? Well, we still have the opportunity of the banks reporting earnings Friday and Monday, and that's going to tell us more about the strength of the economy. We already know that inflation is coming down. We saw that the Fed was dovish, and that Goldilocks environment is still on the table. But the fact is that the market's been running up, and so it makes a ton of sense to do profit taking at this point. I warned in the beginning of this week in Monday's video, I told you guys two things. One, we were likely to hit 560, and two, when we got outside of our ascending wedge pattern that is a classic bull trap, you don't just go straight up forever. We were likely to pull back. But let me just give you the clear warning. The very minute that we open and close a candle back in the channel, the likelihood is that we will more likely go to the bottom side and test support before breaking out again to the upside. With that CPI coming in as good as it did, the fact is that people are counting on a rate cut now in September, and we saw rate-sensitive stocks do well. Which are they? Well, IWM, the Russell 2000, actually had a massive move up. We saw some of the solar companies like Enphase shoot up today because those are very rate-sensitive. They need access to cheaper money to thrive, and so that's why they have been as beat down for as long as they have. And so there is on the horizon, 6 months out, lower interest rates coming, which means that we could get some breadth and participation from the small cap companies in this bull rally. However, the fact is that the Magnificent Seven are definitely cooling off, and one of the ones that got absolutely hit the hardest, but it really had nothing to do with the CPI, was Tesla. So what's going on with Tesla? Well, there is a ton of news and rumor circulating around this stock right now, and I'm going to bring you guys up to speed because it really does matter to where Tesla is going to end up this year. Of course, we will look at the charts as well. Let me just take a step back and thank you guys for joining me. This is the Stocks with Josh show. I appreciate you joining me today. We walked through the tumultuous day over on the Stocks with Josh Discord, where I was dropping TA updates on Tesla throughout the day. I also ran technicals for a bunch of other stocks. SQQQ, which was a swing trade that popped today. Tesla, of course, Eli Lilly, which I had warned just yesterday that if it lost 940 that it would come back. It came all the way back to 924 today. A nice opportunity to go short. I talked about Disney. What's going on in the Disney stock? I gave a deep dive overview on Disney. IWM we covered today. The SPY and Enphase were just a handful of the technical analysis alerts that I dropped today, as well as some successful swing trades on options and stocks. PayPal was another one that had a nice pop-up today, but we're going to be waiting on Friday to see if that run is going to continue. Guys, if you need help with the analysis of some of your favorite stocks, come join the Stocks with Josh Discord, where I'm dropping TA every single day. But let me just caution you on something. It's a fabulous community, but the minute you join, there's going to be scammers that use my picture and my name, and they try to DM you and tell you that if you want a special offer or if you want me to trade for you, just to send them some money. Don't do it. It's not me. I will not DM you on Discord. Just come join the community, and in the Discord is where we will chat and communicate Anyone else reaching out to you as a direct message is not me. Those are all scammers, so beware. And the same with YouTube. There's always somebody using my name and my picture. There's always like the addition, stocks with Josh dot, stocks with Jot dot, stocks with Jot 3, 8, and etc. in the comments here on YouTube. They're all trying to trick you. It's not me. I'm never, ever going to ask you guys to send me money or crypto or give you any special offers directly. It's all going to be on the Discord platform or here on YouTube right now. One of the successful plays that we had, we took a short on the SPY going into close yesterday. Turned out to be a very good call because we lost all of the traction that had been gained in yesterday's market today, with the SPY coming all the way back down to the top of the channel. And again, we're going to watch it tomorrow to see if we break back into that channel to enter puts again and to ride it down even further. The risk right now is to the downside, just to keep that in perspective, even though we have a strong uptrending market. To lead into my next section, Tesla, I actually want to talk about one of the numbers that came out in the CPI that was absolutely out of control and pushing inflation higher. This was one of the sectors that was trending against inflation coming down, and this was auto insurance, was actually up year over year nearly 20%. These guys who've always been gouging us on insurance costs are pushing even harder in this environment to get every single dollar out of us that they can. You got to realize that that 20% is a 20% increase from last year, where it had already risen all year long. So why does this matter? Well, because there's a single guy and a single company that could absolutely annihilate those auto insurance companies and bring their rates down to zero, and that's Tesla and Elon Musk. And you're like, Josh, what are you talking about? The reason why Tesla stock ran up had absolutely nothing to do with positive delivery numbers or even the idea that they were going to beat market expectations in this upcoming earnings, which I believe is July 23rd, but some people are telling me otherwise, but everything says July 23rd. If you got something out there that says it's going to be on a different date, shoot it to me in the comments as a reference. But the reason why the stock exploded from $180 all the way up to $200 and roughly $70 because of new news expected to come out August 8th on those robo-taxis. Robo-taxis, basically the idea is this: if you own a Tesla car, it can work for you when you're not driving it, and when you don't need it, you can simply go home, turn it on to autopilot, and it would run out, picking up people and earning you money and paying for itself. An extremely exciting prospect, all part of Elon Musk's vision that shareholders have been waiting to see come to pass. And there was the rumor that it was going to be updated August 8th. And today it came out that that was going to get pushed back till later this year, September or October. And that was the reason why the stock had been running up early. And that's what's brought it crashing down. Now, how do we need to process this as Tesla shareholders? One, all that it's going to take is for a correction to that news story to come out, and the stock will immediately fly back up to $270. Guys, this is getting manipulated right now, and I want you to expect, if a single news story can push it down, it means that a retraction or an adjustment to that news story can push it right back up. So be aware, be careful if you're trying to short it and you're expecting it to go down. And keep in mind what I said in yesterday's video, that there are still waves of bullishness. The likelihood that we are going to have a V-shaped move going all the way up to the top and then all the way back down is unlikely. Now there's another rumor that's brewing, and this is another news story that could absolutely pump the stock, and that's that Elon Musk has somehow perhaps secured the former CEO and founder of Uber to come and run the Tesla robo-taxi division. And one of the reasons he is no longer with Uber was because of his grand vision to fire all of the Uber drivers and to bring in automated driving. Now, if he, with his vision and his success background of creating Uber into the company that it was, if he were to come on the team with Elon Musk and take over robo-taxis, this would absolutely annihilate the auto insurance industry and be an absolute game changer for Tesla. And so I'm just going to keep it clear, guys. That's all. This thing is going to pop and drop on these rumors and on these news releases. And so it's going to get very choppy ahead, but there's a lot going on. But if you take a step back from all of it, you really shouldn't be shook as a Tesla investor if you believe in and understand the bigger vision and the bigger opportunity. And I'm always going to say it, we're not even at the robots yet, which are probably going to be news stories and rumors that circulate in 2025. And you saw what could happen to the stock price and that it could move up nearly 100% in 30 days simply based on the rumors of robotaxis. This is going to continue to be a volatile play. If you take a step back and you look at the charts, it wouldn't at all be unrealistic to make another swing low back to 200 and pop again, and the trend would be absolutely pointing bullish. Just keep that in mind. You know, you're either going to be a long-term Tesla investor because you believe in the opportunity that Elon is constantly bringing to the marketplace, or you just can't ride the roller coaster, and just like the big baby at the beginning, you don't know whether you should be happy or sad about what's going on with Tesla. Personally, I'm happy, and if we were to get a massive drop down, I would buy the dip again because I still see incredible opportunity in this company, and I still believe we're going to have a second wave of bullishness here, but it's probably going to be news driven, so you're going to have to get a hold of your seat because it's going to move fast. All right, let me just take you into the charts, and you guys can see for yourself exactly what lines we need to cross to tell us whether or not we're going back up or even further down. Let's check it out. Okay, guys, the very last chart I gave you, I told you that 266 was a very strong resistance, and I explained to you why in last night's live. And let's go back in history. If you understand how to determine what the long-term trend of a stock is, that we need the body of the candle to close above the previous swing high, and that means that this candle, which I have up right now, is a 2-week candle. This needs to close above 252. That's the reason why I gave you guys 252 as a stop loss zone, was because for this to remain bullish, it has to stay above 252, possibly even 253. And right now, right when we got to the top of the price range and we beat the old price range, which was 266, we got this capitulation and we are currently beneath 252. And so let me just keep it very simple. The line in the sand right now is 246.50. We got to get back above that for us to have some recovery here and to believe that we're going to move higher. But more specifically, before this month is out, we have to be above 252. Otherwise, the trend has actually not turned long-term bullish yet, even though this pop was so significant. So yes, you can actually go up 93% in price and yet actually not be on a long-term bullish trend. So just, I'm going to recap what I just said. The number that we need to watch for the monthly candle right now on Tesla to close at, to confirm that we're going up to 300, is that, we'll just call it 253. Now, I didn't sell any shares. The only thing I did was ride down the TSLZ, which was a 2X bear ETF that I mentioned in yesterday's video, as a hedge. And I took profit on it early. Now, because we're seeing violent swings in the price action of Tesla, it means that the options will actually still be profitable, especially if it came out tomorrow. Some of the news that I talked with you guys about today, such as the ex-Uber CEO or better news on robotaxi information coming out sooner, both of those would cause the stock to completely recover and even go higher. Guys, you're just going to have to accept the fact that Tesla isn't for everybody. It's a wild, wild bucking bull on Wall Street. If you're new to it, you're going to get thrown from it, and then you're not going to want to touch it again. I've got a long-term strategy to ride it. I know a lot of you guys are on that same bull with me. That's what's going on with Tesla. Guys, don't be scared. We're going to be watching Tesla for a second wave of bullishness. All that needs to happen is for price action to stabilize and the bulls will begin to pile back in, and or to get an incredible update that would be more bullish than the news that robotaxi news had been kicked down the road, especially that news relating to the former ex-Uber CEO. That would absolutely cause the stock to go nuts. Guys, if you need help with the charts, I'm giving it every single day in the Stocks with Josh Discord. I'm going to leave a link in the top pinned comment. I'm also dropping micro classes Tuesdays and Thursdays and doing live trading Monday and Friday. You got to check out the differences between the different tiers because they're not all the same. And I'm going to give you guys heads up that I'm going to be very likely closing the lowest tier at the end of the month. So if you want to get into the Discord, you want to get in there before this month is up. All right, let's talk about Bitcoin because it also had a big day. Now, there were some rumors that if the CPI data came in good, that it actually would be very bullish for crypto, and indeed it was. We saw a nice pop up on Bitcoin. Now I'm going to take you into the charts before you get too bullish, before you get too excited, because Bitcoin is not out of the woods. Now, the last update that I gave you regarding Bitcoin, and it's going to go downstream to the cryptos, to the Bitcoin miner stocks, to MicroStrategies, to coin, it's going to affect all of them, is that we have simply come down. Not enough buying volume and momentum has come back. We're simply moving up to potentially backtest structure, right? We haven't broken or closed back above or back into important structure. We still have overall bearishness on the chart, and the trend has been defined as down. And the target that I gave you guys was likely a move all the way down to that 50,000 or 49K level before going up later on this year at the tail end of August, September, November, and December. We might be back on top by the end of this year. What might ultimately turn Bitcoin around later this year, and some are saying, well, Josh, it already got turned around. You said if it got back above 59K that it would be a buy again. No, more specifically, I said that if this monthly candle closed above 59K, then it would cancel the bearish trend, which we've got a number of days left in this month, and that hasn't happened yet. So what could trigger us coming up off the bottoms could be that getting that rate cut in September and seeing some of that easing money that might then push and cause more money to flow into Bitcoin. Before I get into the Bitcoin chart, I just want to make an overall comment about cryptos, legacy coins. I'm going to be talking about some legacy coins coming up because people are hurting and they just haven't let them go, despite the fact that I've given you guys a set of performing coins that have outperformed most other cryptos. But I'm going to be talking about some of the legacy coins and giving you some perspective of where they might go to by the end of this year so that you would have realistic expectations. But I wanted to make this comment. One of the reasons why some of the legacy coins have not performed is because we have significantly more cryptocurrencies and crypto projects and layer ones and layer twos than we've ever had before. We have something along the lines of saturation of new crypto projects, and we have had decreasing liquidity in this particular crypto cycle, which means less money's been flowing up. Now, how do we know that? Because we've got the Fed who's tightening and restricting money. So we know that there's less liquidity and we have twice as many coins. Not exactly, but you get my point. More coins, less money. It means that not everything can pop, which means that you even have to be more selective about the altcoins that you're in. At the end of this video, I'm going to leave a link to a video that I did where I share some of my top coins going into the end of this year. Okay, let's go check out the Bitcoin chart. All right, I'm going to quickly try to go through a handful of patterns that you need to keep your eye on, but the number one pattern that we're up against right now is this descending line of resistance. That's the big barrier of moving higher, and you can see, I'm going to zoom in for you guys, we've got tons of issues. Let's look at the last two daily candles that we got. This is called bearish tweezer candles. These look horrible. It looks like a set of tweezers. Both of them show selling rejection as we moved closer to that 59,000 level. And you can see that we've come up against this important line of 59,000 twice. We've made a double top, a double tweezer top, and it's extremely bearish. In addition to that, we have a smaller bearish pattern forming, which is an ascending wedge. Now we can still work within this pattern, and we can even over the next couple days have some price action which might temporarily break above the channel, but ultimately this is a bearish forming pattern and we should be concerned about it. Now, even more specifically, let me just zoom out and show you guys what we've really got here. We have a lot of bearish patterns and a lot of bearish resistance. Well, you want to look not only at the pattern that you're in, you want to look at the pattern that we just got out of, because guys, these are called bearish continuation patterns. It means that the trend continues downward, right? And the trend, both of these patterns failed at this descending line of resistance. And so I can't keep it any more simple than this. This is not, in the micro, a bullish chart. In the micro, this is a bearish chart. Ultimately, we know that we still have bullish days ahead of us. And even if we hit this 49K, the big picture view is that by 2025, we should be hitting all-time highs with Bitcoin. The biggest takeaway that I can give you regarding Bitcoin and crypto is the same message that I've been consistently delivering on this page. There's an opportunity that's being presented to every crypto investor, every crypto speculator, because I don't know that crypto is an investment yet, but we'll call it any crypto speculator, that we are moving into a pullback. I showed it to you in the chart. The micro trend, which means the near-term trend, which would be the next 6 weeks, is pointing bearish. Been confirmed bearish, has not confirmed back bullish yet. We have to close this candle out above 59, more specifically like 60,600. We'd have to close this month out then just to cancel the move down that we're currently in. And here's the huge opportunity that this presents us, because if we do get rejected here, so far this week we have been rejected at 59,000. Even though we've come back up to it, we've got to close out the week to see how it finishes. But in this environment, we can short the miners, we can short coin, we can short MicroStrategies and make a ton of money while simultaneously investing in some long-term crypto coins, of which many of them, the ones I've talked about, I believe for educational purposes will be higher at the end of this year than they are right now. And in many of the coins that I talked about in the video I referenced earlier, the one I'm going to leave at the end of this video, will be up 150% between now and the end of this year. So for me, it's all opportunity. And guys, you don't want to miss out on these bold statements. Even though the market fluctuates and the baby is sad one minute and happy the next, who's the baby? I'm not calling you a baby. I might have been crying. I don't know if you were crying looking at Tesla today. What I'm telling you is this: even if the market fluctuates, investments in Tesla have more opportunity by the end of this year than I fear risk to the downside. Now, we'll have to wait and see. That's a bold statement. I called out Solana, one of my favorite crypto projects, and just like buying Tesla under $200, I think buying Solana under $200 is going to reap a big reward by December when we're back at $200 to $300, which can happen in a single 30-day window. And then you're going to become crying to me, as Keenan says, and say, should I buy it now? I had a guy in the Discord today when Tesla was at its absolute peak. He bought 250 shares of Tesla at $266. Now, I'm not going to call out your name or your handle, and I don't mean to put you on blast, but I've actually talked about not doing that because the risk to reward wasn't good. It's not a good entry. Now, I'll give you the alerts. All you got to do is join the Stocks with Josh community. You're getting TA on top moving stocks in crypto every single day. I'm also doing it over in the Stock Squad Patreon, where I'm going to be dropping some charts this evening. Let me know in the chat if you guys are buying the dip on Tesla, and if you think there's any chance for Elon Musk to annihilate Uber as well as the car insurance company. Guys, don't forget what Warren Buffett said in his recent address to shareholders. He referenced Elon Musk and Tesla. Now, if you respect that man, listen to what he said. He said the biggest threat to their company, their insurance division right now, was companies like Tesla under the leadership of Elon, disrupting the industry, bringing about autonomous driving the cost of insurance down because there are so few accidents. This is going to come to pass, and Tesla is the company who's leading that charge right now, and that's why even on the dip, I'm a happy investor in Tesla. I'm gonna leave it right there. Hit the like, hit the subscribe to get the next Tesla and Bitcoin update. I'm gonna be talking about NVIDIA, SMCI, and some of the other chip makers like AMD in my next video. Don't miss it. Peace and blessings. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.